Okay, it is Mrs. Homan here to talk to you for a few minutes about polynomial and synthetic division. Okay, this video is to remind you the process of long division with polynomials and synthetic division. On the next day I see you, we will discuss what these processes can be used for and how they can be helpful to us. We'll talk about some theorems and those sorts of things. So first of all, let's begin with long division. Okay, this is an Algebra 2 topic. This is something that you did in Algebra 2. So we will just remind ourselves what the process was. So here we have a fourth degree polynomial that we want to divide by x squared plus 2x minus 3. So first of all, we are going to put our dividend underneath our division bar here. So 2x to the fourth plus 4x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 2. We will put our divisor outside our division bar, and then we will do our work to find our quotient. Okay, so just like with long division of numbers, okay, we are going to ask ourselves, okay, how many times does our divisor go into our dividend? So we're going to start with always the first term. How many times does x squared go into 2x to the fourth? Or you can say x squared times what is 2x to the fourth? That would be 2x squared. I asked that you organized everything by columns. So you see our dividend here. We've written everything in order. My 2x squared is going to go in the x squared column, so everything kind of lines up together. Okay? Now we need to take our entire divisor and multiply it by the number we wrote up there in our quotient. So x squared times 2x squared gives us 2x to the fourth. 2x times 2x squared would give us 4x cubed. And negative 3 times 2x squared would give us negative 6x squared. Okay. If you remember from long division with integers, we need to subtract these two quantities. So my advice to you, in order to remember that you're subtracting these, is to go ahead and change the sign. So we're subtracting 2x squared to the fourth. We're subtracting 4x cubed. We're subtracting a negative 6x squared. That way you do not forget about your subtraction. So then 2x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth, that goes away. That should happen each time. That was the point of the first term in our quotient. It turns out 4x cubed minus 4x cubed goes away. And then we have negative 5x squared plus 6x squared is x squared. And then you're going to bring down the next term. Since our divisor has 3 terms, we want whatever is right here to have 3 terms. So I'm also going to bring down a minus 2. Now we get to start this process all over again. So we're going to ask ourselves, x squared times what will give us x squared? That would be 1. Okay. So now we take our divisor and multiply it by 1. So x squared times 1, 2x times 1, and negative 3 times 1. Remember, we are going to be subtracting these two. And so I'm going to put that subtraction all the way through. And we are left with x plus 1. This is our remainder. But we are not going to write remainder x plus 1. What we are going to write is our quotient was 2x squared plus 1, and then we are going to add our remainder over our divisor. Okay. Now, one warning I have for you is that when you do division and you are missing terms, you need to replace those with zeros. So if I were to divide x cubed minus 1 by x minus 1, when we put our dividend under the fraction bar, or under the division bar, we need x cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 1. You need those zeros there. And then we're going to divide by x minus 1. So we need to ask ourselves, x times what is x cubed? That would be x squared. So we'll take x minus 1 times x squared to get x cubed minus x squared. And remember, we are subtracting this, so I'm going to put the subtraction all the way through. So we have x squared left over. We'll bring down our next term, 0x. Okay? X times what is x squared? That would be x. So we'll take x minus 1 times x. Okay? And we need to subtract this. So we are left with x. Bring down our next term, minus 1. Once we've brought that last term down in our dividend, we're at the last step of our division. So x times what is x? That would be 1. So x minus 1 times 1 gives us x minus 1. So when we subtract, we get 0. So this polynomial divided evenly. Our quotient has no remainder, so we divided evenly. Okay, so x squared plus x plus 1 is our quotient. Okay. Last but not least, your favorite, synthetic division. Okay. Oops, I apologize. Here we go. Now, synthetic division only works when we have a linear divisor. Okay, so this last example that we did, x minus 1, that is a linear divisor. This example that we're going to do right here, x plus 3, that is a linear divisor. Okay, so let's remember how to set this up. You are going to make your box here, and we are going to write our dividend without any of the variables. So we have 1 x to the 4th plus 0 x cubed minus 10 x squared minus 2x plus 4. Okay, I'm going to make my box a little straighter here. Okay, since we are dividing by x plus 3, all right, if we set that equal to 0, we would get negative 3. That is the number that goes out here. Okay, so since our dividend is x plus 3, we're putting a negative 3 right outside here. Okay, so now we are going to drop down this 1. We're going to take 1 times negative 3 to get negative 3. We add this column to get negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 gets us 9. We add this column to get negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 3 gets us 3. We're going to add the column to get 1. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. We're going to add this column to get 1. Okay. Now, we took a 4th degree polynomial and divided it by a linear polynomial, which means we are going to be left with a cubic. X to the fourth divided by an x to the first is going to get us an x cubed. So this 1 right here in our quotient stands for 1x cubed minus 3x squared minus x plus 1. Your last number in your synthetic division is your remainder. So we have a remainder of 1, so we will add it to our, we'll add it over our divisor. Okay. Those are your 3 examples of long division and synthetic division. We will see you back in class.